What is your name?
What are you asking? Are you asking my Anishinaabe name, or are you asking my income tax name?
Both.
Okay. Okay, I've been gifted that name of Gamoki. Gamoki, and that means to me Gamoki Kwe, Indigenous cause, and I've been given that name because it talks to me about when I was just beginning to put my bundle together, and it means that woman who is beginning to rise up. The other name I go by is my Christian name is Lorraine Francis, and my father's family name is White Duck, and then I married into a French family, and the name was Liberty, so I go by Lorraine White Duck Liberty. For a long time, I went by Lorraine Liberty, but now I'm proud to say that, I'm a White Duck. I don't like calling it a powwow. I like calling it a gathering. Okay. Gathering of people, gathering of drums, gathering of, and to me a powwow is a colonization word. To me that's just my opinion. But I like to call it a gathering. And that's what it is. We gather, we come together, there's protocol, there's respect. There's love, courage. We see everybody. You ever hear about that getting on the powwow trail? God, you go from place to place to place. You see the same people. When I was younger, that's what I did. And you'd camp out and put your tent up, and it would be lots of fun. It's social, but sometimes there's protocol. Sometimes there's ceremony there. Because sometimes there's a sacred fire there, So, and it's different now.
My name is Peggy Wabagishik. My family is originally from Wicomico, and I reside in Elliott Lake. I'm a craft vendor. I do the powwow trail, conferences. Round dances are big right now, so my daughter and I have been going around and setting up and selling our crafts.
What inspired you to become a vendor?
I think it goes back to a long family history. I remember being a little girl and spending time at my grandma's place. And back in the day, they had homemakers groups. So a whole group of the ladies from the community would get together at her place, and they would be working on all kinds of different crafts, like quilting, beadwork, and just other little projects for that to do a little bit of fundraising.
My name is George Rose from Alowaskat, Mishkeguk, in James Bay.
How did you first become involved in powwow dancing?
I learned from my brothers. My spirit name is how my Cree words in Sokosu language. They're not calling me, if I go up north from Alawaskat, they call me my spirit name. That's a Weasel Boy. That's my spirit name. Before I started dancing like this, and I went to help myself. I went to a treatment center, 9 places. I was alcoholic too. I learned from Catholic and from up north, and I was a survivor too. And that's why I went young years, and I got lost. I got a hard time with Catholic way. That's why I got a hard time how with Catholic. I'm in the church. I was staying in school, 9 years in Fort Albany, First Nations, Fort Albany. All the members I got, I know a lot of boys that make it was 100% and me, yeah. And I know some people, how some of them, but it's hard to explain this stuff. And I'm glad my dad, he was a survivor too, my mom, all my parents.
I think he wants to know about your regalia.
Oh,
Speak a
Nigeria.
little bit about your child matters regalia.
Yeah.
Where did you get it?
There matters like this, my Gary like this. It's very important. And when the Gary is about love your people.
My name is Bob Goulet, spelled Goulais. Jaquet Nishnakas, Migizi and Dodem. I'm from Nipissing First Nation, a little place called Taganing, our garden village, not too far from Canadore here.
Would you say there's a big difference between the powwows back in the day compared to now?
Yeah, there's certainly been an evolution. Back in the day, they weren't nearly as rigid in terms of protocols. I think, people were just learning our ways of knowing and being, learning, how to sing and how to dance. So there's a lot more openness on how to do that. A good example of that are the singing groups. There was always a lot of singing groups, and at one time, it kind of ebbs and flows. Sometimes singing groups have 3 or 4 singers. Sometimes, in my time, you had 10 or 12 singers around a singing group, and it goes back and forth. So back in the early days, when there wasn't a lot of singers, you'd have other people jumping in on other drums, and it being a very different drum pit when it comes to who's singing there. Today, it's again, it's one of those things where you're seeing a lot more drums and a lot of singers that are singing with one particular drum. Well, there's others that continue to sit with whoever they can at powwows. When it comes to dancing, we're seeing more dance styles. Back in the day, they were just pretty straightforward. You had the men's traditional, men's fancy. Grass dance was still pretty early on in this territory. From the woman's side, it was fancy or traditional, maybe a little bit of jingle. But today, now we have the different woodland styles. We have the different men's styles and women's styles, the chicken dance style, different types of fancy feather styles. And now with each of the dance styles, there's a lot more intricate specials and dances with them. Speaking of specials, those contests are important this year, or this time of this day and age. There's a lot more contests when it comes to families bringing forward specials in this area, and it becoming part of good-natured contests. Certainly, these are not contest powwows, but occasionally there are contests that happen through them, and they're really good-natured and fun, and quite a way to celebrate and enjoy our ways of knowing.
Ani, my name's Alan Lewis.
And where are you from?
I am from Canadore First Nation. I live there, but I'm from Squamish, BC Nation.
How did you become involved in powwow drumming and singing?
So growing up, my mom always made sure, I kept it traditional, after seeing what she had to go through, not, having that culture growing up. She wanted to make sure I grew up in it. So she brought me to powwow, she brought me to ceremony, and I got to grow up around the drum. And gradually I got to learn more and more with different teachers teaching me, what different songs means, what different beats are, all that good stuff. Drumming has always been nice and calming. My mom would always sing drum lullabies to me before I go to bed. So it was something that I always liked. And once I hear that beat of the drum, it just gets my heart going. And to me, it's a part of who I am. Growing up around it, it really had a huge effect on me. And now I'm happy that I'm able to do it at an adult level.
Can you describe the significance of drumming and singing in the context of a powwow?
So for me, drumming and singing, it's more so of a way to show resilience, to show that we're still here, to tell a story, but it's also for healing, for our people, to practice something that was taken away from us. And when I see all those people out there, you know, those young men, those young women singing, it makes me happy. It gives me pride, you know, knowing that I'm able to be there to sing beside them.
Can you share a story or moment when drumming or singing at a powwow had a profound impact on you or those around you?
Me and my friends, we got together and said, hey, we want to create a drum group and go to a big powwow. We went to Kettle Point. We got everything ready. We called up some friends, make sure we had rides, make sure we had you know, places to stay. And when we made it there, we had a lot of fun. It was a competition powwow, our first one ever. We went in really optimistic. And when we got last place, we realized how much we got to learn still. You know, how much that we learned compared to how much they learned, and how much that we got to keep practicing, you know, to get better. But it's not about who wins or loses. It's about how hard you went, and we did a great job there. And that loss, though, was like, wow, you know, I thought we'd at least do better, but I didn't know we were like that. But that felt different for me, for sure.
How do you see your role as a vendor contributing to the overall atmosphere and experience of the powwow?
A lot of us are knowledge keepers, I guess you could say, and you know, so we're familiar with, you know, the product that we're selling. You know, somebody will pick up a feather case, and they'll say, well, what is this? You know, and then we tell them that, you know, in ceremony, you know, like we use feathers, you know, like when we're doing smudging and praying, and so that the feathers don't get ruffled, you know, like we have these feather cases to protect them, eh? And so medicine, you know, like the medicine pouches, and you know, the skirts have beautiful floral patterns or geometric designs, and people wonder, you know, the average everyday person, you know, coming to the powwow would ask about those and ask if they too could wear it, and you know, drawing on who we are as a people, you know, they are one of those components on the medicine wheel, eh? So, you know, like when you look at the medicine wheel, and we incorporate those teachings in there, you know, like white, you know, being white Caucasian, red, the Anishinaabe people, yellow, Oriental, and then the colored peoples, eh? The black, eh? Or blue.
What is your name
B. Dokis Belanger,
and where are you from?
Dokis First Nation.
How did you first become involved in powwow dancing?
My community has had powwows for almost, I'd say like 22 or 21 years, like annually, and I've been dancing since I could walk.
What does powwow dancing mean to you personally?
Personally, versus what I was taught, it's kind of the same in the sense that it's, well, depending on the dance you do, it's for healing, but it's also for yourself. For me, anyways, it was a good way to stay active. When I was younger, I was pretty critical of the way I danced because I was still learning. And when I took it into my own hands and taught myself how to dance, it was basically like exercising. So instead of like going for walks, I would just go in the basement and watch powwow videos and teach myself how to dance.
How do traditional regalias vary among different indigenous communities?
I'd say it's tribal, but because of how things are going contemporary-wise, it's kind of like you pick up whatever you think suits yourself. But I personally, I like to stick within what's my own tribe, and for me that's jingle. But I did used to do fancy shawl, which I think is more plains, native tribes. I know Haudenosaunee, they, not just Haudenosaunee, but Mohawk, they do smoke dance. And I've only ever seen Mohawk people do their own smoke dance. And there's many other ones like that that are very specific, like Potawatomi, Odawa, Ojibwe, they do women's and men's woodland. So men's woodland traditional and women's scrub.
Could you share the story behind some of the items you sell at the powwow?
I like to think that, like our booth is called Silver Cedar Creations, and what I like to think that we provide are items that powwow people or people learning to walk the red road would find useful and practical, for their bundles, whether it's medicine pouches, feather cases, drum bags. We got into making ribbon skirts, ribbon shirts, vests, things that people would use when they go to ceremony. And then, like people like to look good and, advocate and promote who they are as Anishinaabe people. And so we make a lot of necklaces, and always trying to change it up and, like find colors and designs and patterns that people would be attracted to.
What do you hope audiences take away from your drumming and singing at a powwow?
For me, I hope they see it the way I see it, see the beauty in it, how all of us drummers, we come together to synchronize our voice, how we're able to go up high, how we're able to drum at the same time, do different types of beats, get the timing right for those honor beats, to be able to, when someone comes and asks us, can you do this song, be able to give them that song they want, and it helps people out. Because drumming a lot, it's for healing other people, and I hope they get healed from it, feel that warmth that I do.
My favorite thing is still connecting with people. Powwow Circle is, and your powwow family is a very special group. You don't see everybody all the time, especially in the middle of the winter. You don't see a lot of our powwow family. So, just to come here at Canadore and reconnect to people you haven't seen in a long time, haven't seen since the summertime or the fall. And every powwow has their own group that might be a bit more local, and it might be a certain group that only sings at that particular powwow, or certain elders you see at each powwow. So the people and the reconnection is important to me, and that's what I really enjoy, and that's what I always really drawed me to the powwow.
What advice would you give to someone interested in learning more about powwow drumming and singing, or becoming involved in the tradition?
Just go out and try. A lot of drum groups were a lot of nice chill guys. Just go ask, hey, can I sit down, Or it's whether you can just stand beside that drum, hear it. Eventually, you can be there sitting with them. You can ask them to sit down. There's a lot of many things around that you can find to go drumming, whether it's at a community center, at the health center, in high schools. It's about taking that first step in and trying. You won't be the best when you start, but you'll gradually get there with practice and time. And soon you'll really like it like I do.
What advice would you give someone who is interested in learning powwow dancing or connecting with Indigenous culture?
If it was in the sense of teaching them how to dance, I would say to either find someone you have a connection with that has the time to teach you, or to really invest your own time and teach yourself. Culturally, I'd sense more of going to somewhere where it feels like a community and asking them. So a friendship center would be a really good start for people who are just getting into their culture.
What do you hope visitors take away from their experience shopping at your booth?
A greater knowledge and appreciation of the work that we produce. The time and effort that we took to produce it. And like we try to make our products in a good way. And you'll probably hear this from other vendors where we say, well, we're producing a product, that somebody can use. Like I'm having a really bad day, so, I don't want to transfer that energy into the product. So let it go. Go do something else. Yeah. And then when my mind is clear and everything is good, then go back and look at continue producing that product, and in a good way, so that people will feel that goodness from the product. That's what I think anyway.
What advice would you give to someone who is interested in learning powwow dancing or connecting with indigenous culture?
Nusuhten nahikikola kanlamuttaman umwakishakak utta. Sagod kishimentu sagod minugano kikon yapastai missegikon umwakishakak misse. Nuhchimuhchipuno kikona oho kikona. Mashkushiga pastai. Oho kakisha kapastai misse kishahok tawastamuk. I love my people, no matter where you came from, different community, different. I love the people, you know. They are beautiful. Your kids, they're gonna learn the dancing. That's why my grandfather told me, you have kids, granddaughters like that, and just teach them. Tell the story, nice stories, going into bed. Listen to drum. Go in the bush to do your drums, sing your language. You know, and that's what I found inspiration to have. It's beautiful. I love lots of people in every community. They are beautiful dancers. They are different areas, different language.
What role do elders play in the powwow community, and how do you see their influence shaping the future of powwow traditions?
I know that has a grandmother elder that at a powwow, I really have to do the convocation. I know that. And what I feel is that the grandmothers, the elders should be sitting at the committee. They should be sitting on the powwow committee so that they can give some good directions, or they can make decisions or give advisory, you know. But I don't know if that happens. But I'm thinking in the future, each college or each university, they should have an elders council. You know, they should choose someone in that college to be an elders council. And then when there's something that has to go on with the Indigenous students, then they can go to the counselor. That's how I look at it. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But it might happen in the future. It might happen. You know, the aunties might start standing up, and the grandpas and the uncles might start standing up and start saying, okay, this is what we want to do. I'm in my 83rd year, and I'm trying to make the best of the years that I have left.